it's funny. When I was at school, we always had to read novels for the school work, and one year I read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, but it was a book for the year older than I was. And when in the exam, at the end of term, we had an exam and they said, write about a book that you read this year. And so I wrote about Brave New World. And when the exam marks came back to me, the teacher gave me 0, nothing. And she said, this book was for next year, you shouldn't have read it. And I was devastated because I was always good at English. It was my subject, and to be marked with 0 was humiliating. And my revenge was that I said I will never read another book again. And I wouldn't read any novels. I refused to read novels. And you had the choice. You could write in the exam. You could read novels and answer the question on a novel, or you could read plays. And so I started to read plays, and I read all the playwrights, Joe Orton, Harold Pinter, and I just loved to read plays, and it was unusual, but this became my thing. And I answered all the exam questions then on plays all through my school years. And a Scottish playwright called Tom McGrath came to the school to speak about his work and speak about writing. And I suddenly realised that here was this man from Glasgow, where I was born, who was a playwright, whose plays were on theatre. And so these great playwrights that I was reading, they didn't just come from London or exotic places. You know, that someone from Glasgow could write plays was an incredible inspiration to me. So I decided when I was 16, 17 that I was going to be a playwright, and that's what I was going to do. And I did. I started to write plays, and I was used to the form. I was used to how they were laid out, how the dialogue came, how the drama was constructed, because I'd read so many, and it seemed perfectly natural to tell stories through dialogue. So when I went to university, I studied English literature and drama, and so I was writing plays and I was putting them on with the student theatre group. And while I was still at university, I won an international playwriting competition with people from all over the world. And with that prize, it attracted attention to the play, and the play was put on professionally. And so at 21, I had to play in theatre. And from that moment, I was a professional writer. My plays went from theatre into television, and I've written 300 hours, broadcast hours of television. I was just working constantly for 15 years, writing all sorts of drama for television. So yes. To answer, or to go back to the thought of, did someone inspire me? Yes, Tom McGrath, the Scottish playwright, coming to school and talking to me made me see it was possible for a kid from Glasgow to become a playwright, and so that inspired me.